Hey, this is TJ from SmokescreenDesign.com. Been following the story and waiting for this time to come. The Federal Reserve, Janet Yellen, finally announced that they are raising the interest rates 0.25%. People have been saying that it's not going to happen. They're not going to raise it. They can't because it would cause such a financial, economic disaster. It's not going to happen. And Lindsey Williams talked about how the interest rates were supposed to be raised in London, I believe that's the location, London, England, wherever, first, and then a few weeks later would happen in the United States. And I checked the other day, and the Bank of England said they were not going to raise the interest rates. So she announced it today that they are. Because Lindsey Williams mentioned that things you need to do before September 15th. Everyone thought that was the end of the world, whatever, that the 16th everything would fall apart. But he said that prepare for September through December because that's when they're going to raise the interest rates. And the next economic collapse was hinging on the interest rate hike. And so people can say, no, it never happened. Nothing's ever happened. You're a liar. And today it has just been announced. There was a video here on the Lindsey Williams page that how interest rates would implode the world economy. I really didn't think it was going to happen today because the Federal Reserve keeps saying that they can't do it because the economy just is not right for it. The economy needs to be better. Now all of a sudden they're saying, oh, the economy's good, everything's fine. But it's not. The economy's just as bad as it's been. It's not any better. Actually, I just read some articles just talking about how this retail season so far this year hasn't been as good as it's been, and Black Friday retail season wasn't as good. And this morning, before the announcement, was reading through this article, "The Global Economic Reset Has Begun" by Brandon Smith, and this was on December the 9th. And he's just talking about how the New World Order, they're moving along with it, and BRICS, as some try to say, they're outside of that, but they're all on board with the globalist agenda. Really good article. This is at altmarket.com. And so I was reading this today. Very good article. Talking about America's got to be destroyed, and they are working on doing that. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and there's another wave of foreclosures coming in about a year, and this was before today. We talked about it. So this is right in line with that. There's Lindsey Williams' friend, elite friend. Let's see if I can find that quote. And on one hand, I'd say I'm just surprised that they see we're at the brink of total worldwide financial collapse. On one hand, I know they wanted to do this. On the other hand, people saying, oh, the Federal Reserve, they care. No, they don't. The central bank. Most of us already know about the central banking system. And how they want to destroy countries, and they want to control everybody and resources. And I'm trying to find this quote. And a lot of people are saying it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. They're not going to raise the interest rates. They're not going to do it. But they did. They raised it today. Let me see here. Alright, so I don't know if Facebook is hiding it. But his elite friend said some quote like, this is going to be the biggest financial event ever in history or something like that. So we'll have to keep an eye out now, and it's this major financial upset. It's right. It's here now. What is this going to look like? Janet Yellen gave a talk. Let me go back here. She gave a talk earlier this year, I believe is somewhere around March or April. And in that, she talked about the possibilities of what could happen, worst case scenarios, and it was pretty bad. So I would just expect some pretty bad things to happen. We'll see. Wow, I was expecting it, but I'm shocked at the same time. I really don't know what else to say. So here's some things in this article I wanted to point out. Now, there was a lot of fear-mongering going on. I already knew from what Lindsey Williams said was that it wasn't going to happen until the last quarter of the year. And the news and different people saying, it's going to happen in the spring, it's going to happen in the spring. Didn't happen. And my friend was like, it's going to happen in the spring. I was like, it's not going to happen in the spring. I guess it is. It's going to happen. I'm like, it's not going to happen in the spring. Then the talking heads were like, it's going to happen in the summer. It's going to happen by June or July. My friend was like, it's going to happen this summer. I was like, it's not going to happen in the summer. It's the last quarter. That's when it's going to happen. And I kept telling him that. And now that's actually going on. But so this was good. Also talking about the near zero interest rates. We have a lot of debt. So even to increase it just 0.25% is going to be destructive. And he mentions that in an article in August, he wrote that the Federal Reserve push for a rate hike will likely be determined before 2015 is over, which we got 2 weeks left, less than 2 weeks. No, about 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks left. So talk of a September increase in interest rates may be a ploy, and a last-minute decision to delay could be on the table. This tactic edge of the seat meetings and surprise delays was used on the QE taper scenario, which threw a lot of analysts off their guard and caused many to believe that a taper would never happen. Well, it did happen, just as a rate hike will happen, only slightly later than mainstream analysts expect. This is fascinating because this is exactly what happened, and the Federal Reserve is they just lie. They're lying to us, telling us all the economy's better. No, it's not better. If a delay occurs, it will be short-lived, triggering a dead cat bounce in stocks, with rates increasing by December as dismal retail sales become undeniable leading into the Christmas season. He talks about his analysis if you want to read about that. So go to alt-market.com and you can read about this global economic reset. So the world's dollar, world reserve status, this is this third pillar that they're going to be removing, which are in a process now of depegging us, and it's where they want to destroy this country, and they will rip the financials out from it, so everyone will have to give up any of their possessions, their houses, and even guns and ammo, whatever they can do for food. So the second pillar to be removed is the near zero interest rates, where they're going to start increasing it. And over through the next year or two, they're planning on increasing it up to 2%. So these are going to be a continual increase over time, which I believe it's sometime in March or April is when they're going to have another increase. So we're looking at the hammer coming down that's going to keep hitting. So we just need to be prepared, keep your eyes open, ears open. I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't want to be a fearmonger, and it's hard to speculate, but this financial situation is supposed to be worse than 2008, which I didn't see anything from my personal economic situation except for the rise in costs of everything. But in 2008, I know people that lost their jobs and they struggled for many, many years to find a job. I had a job all the way through the end of 2009, when that's when I lost mine, and I just now got a full-time permanent job that's not a temporary contract job, which I've worked a couple. So since 2009 and today's 2015, it took me this long to find a job, and I don't start till next year. So just make sure you're prepared, that you are able to defend yourself, that you're able to have food, you can hunt for food. Begin to study now to know, in case you have to survive, that you know how to handle meat. And I mean, exactly what Lindsay said, just your health needs. You need to have water. I mean, you go to Target or wherever and you can buy spring water or steam distilled water. So yeah, I'm just kind of lost at words, but I wanted to make sure that I got this out since this just happened and took place. Maybe I'll have something more here shortly.